For the first time, one of the women who accused Herman Cain of sexual harassment has gone public. On Monday, Sharon Bialik said the Republican presidential candidate groped her and made sexual advances toward her while she was seeking help finding a job. The alleged incident happened in the 1990s when Cain was leading the National Restaurant Association. At least 3 other women have made similar accusations against Cain. Bialik explained why she waited until now to come forward.
And wouldn't have been here if it had not been for the 3 other women who have alleged sexual harassment against Mr. Cain. I want you, Mr. Cain, to come clean. Just admit what you did. Admit you were inappropriate to people. America is in and then move forward. America is in a horrible turmoil, as we all know. We need a leader who can set an example which exemplifies the standards of a good person and moral character.
Bialik said she was not interested in selling her story or in filing a lawsuit against Cain. Cain has denied all of the allegations against him. So for more on all of this, we are joined by Politico's David Mark. David, thanks for being with us.
Good to be with you.
All right, let's look at the numbers. A new Gallup poll taken after the first sexual harassment allegation surfaced shows Herman Cain still sharing the lead with Mitt Romney. So how damaging do you think Monday's news will be?
I think this one is going to be a lot more damaging because it included a name, a face, and specific charges of wrongdoing against Mr. Cain. It was easier for him to categorically deny wrongdoing with these previous anonymous accusers. Now I think it's much tougher. It's her word versus his.
And are you surprised at all about how graphic and specific those charges were?
No, not really. Once somebody's going to come out and make these kind of allegations, put their name out there, she's probably going to come in for some abuse. She's probably going to get all kinds of terrible email and other contact. It's really putting herself on the line. If you're going to do that, you might as well go all the way and say what, in her version of events, really happened all those years ago.
Well, Herman Cain is denying all of the allegations and refusing even to talk about the issue. Is that the right strategy?
I don't think he's had the right strategy from the very start. If he had actually discussed the specifics from the beginning and said, yeah, maybe I did act inappropriately here or there, my motives were taken the wrong way, I think a lot of people actually would have sympathized and understood. Companies make these settlements all the time to maintain their reputations for other reasons, to avoid litigation. There probably was a valid explanation for all this, but Mr. Cain is just not wanting to engage in any of the specifics.
Well, that being the case, does Cain's campaign come back from this? How can he come back from this?
I think it's going to be tough. Even though he has been shown to be leading in the polls or right up there with Mitt Romney, there's at least some anecdotal evidence that his poll numbers are dropping. There's also just the big concern about those swing voters who maybe in the Republican coalition who maybe did not love Mitt Romney. They were looking for somebody else, but now they're going to say, is Mr. Cain really the person? Whatever the validity of the accusations, has he really handled this very well? Is this somebody who's really prepared to go one-on-one against President Obama?
Let me switch to some other news right now because it does seem Congress and the president are in agreement over a part of the president's jobs plan that would help both businesses and veterans. So is that a sign that both sides are finally willing to work together?
I think both sides realize it's in their own self-interest to work together on a jobs plan. After all, who wants to be against a specific jobs program when you're talking about veterans, small businesses? These are areas where there is some overlap and some common agreement. So I think both sides actually have it in their own motivations and interests to get this done rather quickly.
Has there been any word, though, this is another topic, but it's an important one, out of the super committee on how they're doing cutting the country's deficit?
They've been pretty secretive about it. They've been meeting behind closed doors for a couple of months now. There's some sort of anecdotal evidence, some reason to believe that Republicans now are willing to put revenue raising on the table, not necessarily raising marginal tax rates, but at least closing some loopholes. The question is, would Democrats go along and actually be willing to cut social programs which they fought so hard against? So there's some sort of signs of life, and there's usually good reason to believe that members of Congress will come to agreement at the very last minute, and that could very well happen right before Thanksgiving.
I was going to say that super committee better hurry up because we're running out of time and quickly.
Usually they kind of need that, kind of like a child doing his homework, preparing for a test. You kind of have cram it all in at the last minute and then get it done.
We've all been there, haven't we?
Indeed.
All right, Politico's David Mark. Thanks for being with us, David. We appreciate it.
Thank you.